Now, local and live, it's Frederick's Forum on 930 WFMD with local newsmakers and your phone calls.
It's Frederick's Forum, local talk radio for the thinking person on 930 WFMD.
Back to Frederick Forum, live and local. I am your host, Michael Kurtianik, today filling in for Patty Brown, who is taking a much-deserved break. One of the hardest working people I've ever met. I wanted to just begin this hour by thanking Frank Mitchell for helping with producing the show this morning. During our first hour, we had a number of people who were representing Frederick City with the events going on and Celebrate Frederick, with all the activities for 4th of July weekend. And Frank, I must say that we certainly got a lot of ideas ourselves to help us with our anniversaries that we share tomorrow, didn't we?
Wedding anniversaries.
Yeah. Wedding anniversary, yeah, wedding, yeah. We can,
it's
tomorrow.
It's my anniversary as well.
Okay, that's nice, but I didn't introduce you yet. Could you?
Sure.
Put him on mute, please. He's not ready. He's not supposed to talk yet. That was my special guest for the second hour, but I'll get to him in a minute. I want to talk about us. So tomorrow looks like we're going to have quite a few things we can do along Carroll Creek. Shaved ice, water gun fight.
Water gun, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that if we can't bring our wives to, or they choose not to participate, maybe you and I can just go at it.
Yeah,
what do you think?
The radio station here.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. Well, I hope everybody had a chance to really enjoy and listen to all of the events that are going on this week. And I'm really quite proud of all the work that this group has done. And now we're going to switch gears a little bit for the second hour. One of the things that I like to talk about, as those of you know, is talk a little bit about local politics, statewide and even national politics. And certainly as a campaigner for county commissioner last year, I certainly had a chance to meet thousands and thousands of people last year and, learn about the issues and things that are going on. And one of the people that I met during my travels last year was a gentleman by the name of Patrick Allen, who was working on another campaign last year. And I just found Patrick to be erudite. Let me see what he wrote here. Hold on. Someone whose sagacity knows no bounds, his humility being his greatest trait. No, seriously. Patrick is someone who I've gotten to know and become friends with during the last year and a half. And I'm really pleased to have Patrick on the show. I consider him somebody who brings a wealth of knowledge and history to local politics. I'm not saying he's old, Frank. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And just somebody that I lean to once in a while just to get his advice and maybe sometimes even open some doors for me. So, Patrick, welcome to the show this morning.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks a lot for having me. I'm a little bit shocked that they painted the studio for you and that there's a dress code. I see you're wearing a tuxedo, and the last crew that was in here were all in suits and ties and evening dresses. So,
well, look at Frank here. I mean, he's suit and tied himself, unlike what I hear described during the rest of the week.
Yeah. Now, the limo out back, is that the car they picked you up in?
That was part of this contract, yeah.
About this whole anniversary card that I heard about in the last hour?
Yeah, did you hear? I accidentally wrote happy birthday on the anniversary card.
I'm thinking if you need a place to stay, I've got a spare bedroom.
You think so? Oh, my God. I might need that.
Yeah.
I'll see what Frank's doing, too.
I didn't invite Frank. Oh. But maybe the three of us can just get together.
Well, let's see how it goes tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Well, one of the things that I want to talk about with you, Patrick, is local politics. But just for the good of the audience, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of where you're coming from. And
okay, I'm probably in that upper middle age category. I do have an AARP card, but I started out really, really young, back in the late 60s and 70s as an equal rights activist, and that kind of got my teeth cut a little bit with politics and those kinds of things. Then I went off and worked for 10 years with the Navy's F-14 program. While you're in the Navy, though, you can't do politics. So I felt this longing to get back into the game. And what I found out when I came out of the service was that you can be an activist, but you really aren't in the game as far as I wanted to be. You had to get in on the inside. So I really got involved in politics and campaigns and issue advocacies. Did a lot of work in Virginia for a number of years, doing what I do best there. Some of the stuff you just can't talk about. And then this beautiful woman enticed me to fall in love with her and move across the Potomac, north of the Potomac, into what I consider foreign territory. But I've been here for 13 years and have really come to love Frederick County and Maryland as a whole.
And you've never really given up your ties to south of the Potomac, to less foreign territory, but you've also, what you've done, from my perspective, Patrick, is to really get elbow deep into local and statewide politics and make connections and things like that. Why is that important to you?
Well, my sense, especially looking at Western Maryland itself, I think what we have done for a number of cycles here is that we've rather acquiesced election cycles to the opposition, and we've not really developed a really strong democratic foundation, a strong messaging base onto which we can field viable candidates. So that really was what prompted me. I kind of sat on the sidelines in the Bob Uecker seats for a couple cycles when I got here, watched a few of the races go by, and watched the Democrats come in second place every time. So I finally thought I'd get some skin in the game. And in the 2010 cycle, I was invited to join a campaign. Unfortunately, we had not enough time to really accomplish the goal that we were after. But heading towards 2012, we've got plenty of time, and we've already been working for 6 or more months on this.
Well, and I remember during the campaign trail, Patrick, that we would find ourselves under the same Democratic tent at the various carnivals, or whether it was downtown Frederick, or just even out at the forums and debates, such as they were, you know. And one of the things that I found was just how well organized you and the team were with the campaign, and certainly I begged, borrowed, and stole from some of them, because this was my first time ever. And so I have you to thank for letting me steal some things from you. How's that?
And I had to beg, borrow, and steal my resources back from you behind your back while you weren't looking.
Oh, dear.
But just to mention...
So I have you to blame.
Yes. Well, I'm blaming you as well.
Oh, good. Thanks. And here we are.
Yeah, okay. So I hope we have a 7-second rule in case you wire me up too much.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be like that MSNBC guy, Mark Halperin, who called the president a name.
Yeah.
And he even said, do you guys have a 7-second delay?
Yeah.
Because... Oh, okay, good, because I'm going to call the president such and such. It's just like, come on.
Well, if it's okay just to make a shameless plug, I had a staff on that political campaign that was second to none. We clicked together. We were very well connected. We shored up each other's weaknesses and made the team much stronger. What I was able to do after the 2010 campaign is we formed a political action committee, and I brought the majority of that staff with me specifically because they were very good at what they do. And if I could, Greg Berzuk, he's our deputy executive director. I'm the executive director. Helen Clark from Myersville is our director of field operations. We have Diana Capriola, who runs our research and opposition research group. We have a communications group, and then we have a media group, which includes Mary White from Site Designers, David Ogden from T-Dog Productions, and Tammy Mangan, who does our social media stuff. So we've got an absolutely strong team put together, and all of us are focused. And since we've worked together under some very strenuous circumstances during the 2010 cycle, what we do today seems like a walk in the park.
And tell us the name of that group.
It's called West695, WST695, and another shameless plug, we're at west695.org. And our core mission really is to put out democratic messaging 24/7, 365. We don't wait till the election cycles, a couple months before the general, to ask people to put up signs and put up a candidate. We work around the clock every day. Our core mission is issue advocacy and political candidate advocacy. And right now, since redistricting is kind of keeping all the Democrats powder dry, it gives us an opportunity to spend the majority of our time really focusing on who we think the plausible, probable Republican challengers are going to be.
And so are you looking at this statewide? Is West695 focused on a specific geographic area in Maryland? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, West695, the name actually, comes from anything west of the Baltimore Beltway, which is I-695. So we not only cover the 6th District, which most of us are familiar with, but we also cover Howard and Montgomery County. That's our primary focus. That's our initial focus. But we're finding that our messaging has been creeping out to other states and even other countries. And we get responses back from folks who support our messaging. For the most part, I think what they like is the fact that we're out there talking about the things that Democrats need to talk about, not just the big horizontal issues like Medicare and jobs and things like that, but we even talk about our own party. Because sometimes we have to hold the mirror up to ourselves and say, how can we work better? How can we do better? And if our job as Democrats is to replace as many Republicans as possible, then we need to work together on strategies more like a coalition. Each of us taking our part where we have expertise and skills and put those together into a coalition that will work.
Well, this being 2011, we are in an off-election year.
Right.
So what is West 695 doing specifically in 2011, and what will they be doing next year in calendar year 2012, where we have a national election?
Yeah, and you're right. All of the down ballot races below the 6th District congressional races, those don't come up again until 2014. So that gives us an opportunity to really clearly focus on the 6th District race.
And down ballots being things like county commissioner on down.
Yeah, and there are some state offices that won't be challenged or contested. So it really kind of opened it up for us to spend our time focusing on how do we tackle the Roscoe Bartlett issue. Ineffective representation and those kinds of things, which hasn't been done successfully in the past, but we are putting our efforts towards that.
So then this year in 2011, the idea then is to create a system in place so that messaging, fundraising,
absolutely,
and bringing those organizations together and those organizing types together, so that then, as things heat up in 2012, specifically 6th District, locally, then West 695 will be in a position to provide messaging, correct? Yeah. And maybe some influence. Tell us about that.
Influence and support. Once the Democratic challengers, file, and we have a suite of Democrats who want to try to win the primary, we have to hold our powder dry until that primary election is done. Then we will put the full weight and support of our organization behind that winning Democrat, whoever that Democrat is. And then from there, we have several options based on the type of tactics and status that we have as a PAC. We can either give money directly to the candidate. We can do things on behalf of the candidate. Perhaps they do their own video productions and we pay for the media buys and those kinds of things, which eat up a lot of financial resources for any campaign. We can also give money to central committees to assist them in their efforts, because I know each central committee has a strategy to try to help their own local candidates, in Frederick and Garrett and Allegheny and Washington, et cetera. So we have that opportunity to assist them where we can.
Okay, great. Well, on that note, I think what we'll do is we'll take a pause here, Patrick, and you're listening to Frederick's Forum on WFMD AM 930 with your host today, Michael Kurtianek. We'll be back in a few moments. And welcome back to WFMD's AM 930 Frederick Forum. This is your host today, Michael Kurtianek, who's giving our usual co-host, Patty Brown, a 4th of July weekend break. However, we are live and in studio this morning with Patrick Allen, who is a local pundit and certainly a very strong Democratic voice here and in this area. And we're talking about the 6th District and talking about, mentioned Roscoe Bartlett. And Patrick, tell me, in your view, is Roscoe Bartlett running again? What are you hearing? What's going on with him? Is he running? Is he not running? What can you tell us?
Well, what we know so far is he did announce back in March that he was going to run, but he's yet to file. And when queried about that, he said, well, he's waiting on to see what the redistricting is going to do.